how are you doing? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the No Ordinary Life podcast. It's great to have you on here. Now, before I continue, I just wanted to share a little bit on No Ordinary Life. No Ordinary Life is a careers motivation platform with the aim to inspire, to motivate, and encourage people in their personal growth and career development so that they achieve their goals and dreams. My name is Claudia Newton, and I'm the host and founder of No Ordinary Life. Before I continue to do the introduction of our guests, please make sure you hit the subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube, and also if you're watching this on any other platform, please hit the closest button to subscribe to receive more of our content. Thank you very much. Also, we are a non-profit and social enterprise, so please make sure you check out our store, which is on our link tree, and the details are going to be on the screen if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're not watching this on YouTube, then I will spell it out or say it out for you. It is linktr.ee/No Ordinary Life. Now that includes the links to all our content, including our website, our store, registration for our events, any announcements that we have, so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's get into the introduction. Everyone, welcome to No Ordinary Life. This is another No Ordinary Life episode. This is episode number 5. And today our topic is the manifesto. So for those of you who are joining us from other parts of the world, this is No Ordinary Life Ghana. We interview friends based in Ghana doing exceptional things and living a no ordinary life. My name is Claudia, and I'm the host of today's episode and also the founder of No Ordinary Life. Very shortly, I'll be introducing our special guests. Before I do that, if it's your first time tuning into No Ordinary Life, I'm just going to share a little bit about No Ordinary Life. So No Ordinary Life is a platform where we aim to inspire people to pursue their purpose, their passions, and their goals. And we've been doing that since 2016. Target audience are young people, but we also believe that you're not too old or too young to dream. So it's open to any age. But if you are of any age, I think that you'll find the advice very useful. So thank you for joining us. All right, Joseph Kwame Nyarkoh. He is from Ghana and he is an accountant. I'll keep it short and sweet because I want him to introduce more about himself. So Joseph, yes, go ahead. Can you share a little bit more about yourself?
A young man in Africa who believes in black. That black is power, black is gold, and black is everything. So that's what makes me unique, and that's the simple introduction about me. I'm passionate about young people, and my dream is that one day we'll build an environment or a society where youth in Africa thrive despite the hardship and challenges. Work with the Ghana Audit Service, the state audit agency. We audit everybody in the country, including the president.
Thank you very much, Joseph. Okay, so a few icebreaker questions. We're going to go for 2 icebreaker questions, but just to get people to know you a little bit more as well. Okay, so my first question is, who will be the first person to tune into this podcast if you share it on your socials with your close friends and family?
My little niece.
Okay.
They always want to find the why of everything. So if I share with them, they'll be the first person to watch this.
Who is your role model and why? That's the second icebreaker.
Well, yeah. When we played against AC Milan, the Champions League in Istanbul, at the first half, Liverpool have lost 3-0. But through his charisma and his leadership, he came back to win the Champions League. So that's why he's my role model. And then Sadio Mane too is my role model. I love his love for humanity. And the reason why, he went to play football and making a great impact in Senegal, his small hometown, in building a hospital because the dad died. There was no hospital. So all these people are role models, and then they inspire me a lot.
Okay, so I can tell that you're a sports fan then.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a sports fan.
Okay, fantastic. All right. So my first question to you is going to be based on your background,
Yeah.
and actually your dreams and aspirations because of what no ordinary life is all about. So, what did you want to do when you were young and growing up?
Early stage in life, I think from 0 to 6 years thereabouts. All of us in Ghana, I want to be a manager, bank manager. But I never said I want to be a doctor or a lawyer. At the point, I wanted to be a bank manager or an engineer when I was growing up.
Wow.
When I got to my teenagehood area, I chose to be an engineer. That was my aspiration.
So now we're talking about your educational background. We know what you wanted to be, engineer, bank manager. What did you end up actually doing through your different levels, secondary, tertiary, and where did you actually study?
Later, central regulation. Basic education. I followed the same path in accounting. So I did bachelor of education accounting at the University of Cape Coast for my undergrad, 4 years. So I had a bit of educational psychology, early childhood, special education. Then when it comes to the accounting bit, financial management, taxation, auditing, accounting, and the likes. That's my educational bit. And I have other certificate courses with UN on sustainability and other things. Okay. We'll get deeper into those ones very shortly. But off camera, when we were kind of planning this, we spoke about, what No Ordinary Life wants to do in terms of inspiring the youth to pursue their purpose and their passions and their goals. And how people, end up studying different things at university or college, and they don't end up working in that particular industry or in that particular career. So it kind of ends up being a time that's quite it's time sort of wasted, but you're one of the lucky ones that actually has ended up working in the field that you studied in, and is still continuing to pursue what you studied. Are there any particular challenges that you encountered in your university through to your professional life when you actually were an accountant, and how did you overcome these challenges? Yeah, I faced some challenges, and then whilst we are human beings, challenges were abound, but how you overcome it is what defines you. So, like I said earlier, growing up, my dad passed away when I was little. Yeah. I was in the basic education, and then so my other brother has to step in, and then he also have his own responsibilities. Have the wife and the kids, and he is the elderly son, so he has to also take care of my other siblings and then my mom. Yeah. So when I completed, the undergrad, the remaining was you to figure out how you deal with your life. Though family was supportive, but I have to, navigate my way through the financial challenges to even pursue my masters. So because of my vision, I tried a way. I had that vision earlier. Right after I completed my undergrad, I knew this is home. This is how things are. I've anticipated how life could be after school. Yeah. So right after first degree, if I don't get a job, what is the plan B? And I knew I didn't know anybody to get. I don't know anybody who hold my hand and other things. So I had a plan B. That is, while doing my national service, the next option, if I don't get any job, is to find a way to do my master's. So I saved money and other stuff to even start my master's. And at that time, it was expensive. At that time, if you look at the exchange rate in Ghana, it will be a little over £1,000. That was in 2019. So I have to find a way and save money. I have to walk a long way to where I was doing my service. Sometimes I have to do 1 or 2, 3 jobs. Step in for people to get money. So these are the challenges that I have to, overcome to do my master's. And then through that was where my confidence to do the professional course as in sit for the chartered accountant, exams came in. So the challenge was financial challenges, and then to also defy all odds, looking at where I was coming to pursue my aim, despite the challenges. Okay, so mostly financial challenges that you encountered.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now on the flip side, we'll talk about achievements. So do you feel you achieved in your personal and professional life?
Being able to impact even my own peers, even those doing the PhD, being able to impact positively. I think that is my biggest achievement. Trying to see the good side of everybody, let everybody know that if you are closer to me, I mean, you can make it, regardless of where you are coming from. And as manifested in some of my friends who are pursuing their PhD at the USA, even some in Ghana, and then those who are around me. I mean, I push people to their higher limit. I said that is my biggest achievement. Notwithstanding that, I mean, at the basic school, I graduated as the best student in my class.
Wow.
When I wrote a BEC.
Okay.
Then, I mean, when I went to the university, I won an election to be a student leader.
Yeah.
So I was part of the biggest student, governing council. The executive decision making, I was part of it. Should I had opportunity to have a meeting with the vice chancellor, pro vice chancellors, and the other great people. So those were my achievements. And then I also won the most innovative, student when I was a leader at my advocacy for the University of Cape Coast.
Wow. Wow, I think you need to dive deeper into this innovative student. And what did you do to gain that award?
So at the university, that was my undergrad. I was the entire hall. I was representing them at the SRC level, the Student Representative Council. That's the biggest decision making for over 19,000 students on campus, and then over 20,000 outside campus.
Okay.
So all the halls, they elect people to represent the interests of the hall at that level. So you are championing the agenda of the hall. It's like parliamentarian. So your constituency, you are championing the ideas or the aspirations. What they want to be, what they want at that level. Yeah. And I also, as the mouthpiece of the hall, so I was the head of communications for events, and my innovation came in how we organize program, how we place it to match standards. Some of our programs like watching the Oscars and other things. The lightning, the red carpet, the photo shoot, the dance, all those things were my ingenuity that brought those things on board. And so those things are even online.
Oh wow!
One ago we could see all those things over there. So it was some of those. My making for those things to happen. Yeah. And we made a lot. We had the highest publicity on campus. Everybody wanted to attend our event, especially our finalist dinner when we were in the final year. And it was massive and great. So it was some of those things that I engineered. Interesting.
That's good to know. Congratulations on that. I know that it's on your CV and your LinkedIn, so it's always great to put those things on your CV for those of you who have just come out of university. And you've been involved in extracurricular activities. Don't say it's not based on work, so it doesn't matter. Definitely put that on your CV. This episode is called the Manifesto episode. Being a Ghanaian, being an African, what do you think Ghanaians need? What do you think Africans need to succeed?
On Wednesday, before we had the intro session for this program, I was in a vehicle when we were having that communication.
Yeah.
So I went to see somebody at the Parliament of Ghana. So I was inside the Parliament, and then I was having a conversation with a friend who works there.
Yeah.
And then that conversation was telling me that some of the parliamentarians, they have good ideas, they have brilliant ideas, they are good people, but they're not implementing it out there.
Right.
So all the issues out there with regards to Africa and everything, the systems. And it's human beings that make the systems. There's no theory, there's no new models, there's nothing anywhere.
Yeah.
We have what it takes to make Africa work, to make Ghana work. And what we have is ourselves. We can tell our story better. We understand our story better. So until we change our mindset, until we change our behavior, how we want things to work, it's not going to work. So all starts from ourselves. I always say this: anything that has been achieved in this world were made by human beings.
Yeah.
And we as Africans, we as Ghanaians, we are capable of that. So we don't need anything, superstitious to do anything. It's just ourselves to change our mindset. If from tomorrow going, all Africans and the leaders to Africans, the followers to Africans, we change our mindset that enough is enough. We are making this to work, our country to work. So what we need is our mindset. America was colonized, Canada was colonized, all the great countries in the world were colonized. But we are making it. So all boils down to our mindset.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Very well summarized. Are there any particular mindsets that you feel is really holding Ghanaians back in your line of work?
The biggest mindset is that we don't live for other people, we live for ourselves. We are not generational thinkers.
Right.
When the Queen of Blessed Memory died, where they did the church, I mean, it has lasted over 100 years, the building. So at the time that they had generations in mind.
Yeah.
You are in the UK, I mean, you could see how they've maintained some of the things over years. Yeah. So when they were doing it, they were thinking 50 years ahead.
Yeah.
20 years ahead. So if you have generational mind, then you don't live for yourself, but you live for even people of tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's how we have to change. That we have to think for the future generation, not only for ourselves.
Wow.
I mean, if you have all the money in the world, you are the world billionaire. You have all the buildings. Where will you sleep in all of the building? Just a small portion that you can't eat all the food in the world. Even if you have the biggest car in the world, you don't drive past the goat. You still drive on the same road the poor and the rich pass. So why don't you live for other people? So the thing is that we have to, as Africans, we have to think about the next generation.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. So mindset is very, very important. Thinking beyond ourselves. I think the whole issue of the whole galamsey and illegal mining actually explains that we're not thinking beyond ourselves.
Okay, Joseph. So this is the manifesto episode. So in a situation where, let's say, you are the president of Ghana, which areas of Ghana's development will you focus on?
Okay, thank you for the question, Claudia. Yes, this is a very interesting question, and then you put me on the spot. What will I do if I'm a president? I will have to do a whole lot of things, but some few things that I would like to touch on, which is very pressing, is that one, to ensure discipline and efficiency in the country. Why am I saying that? We are living in a country where, when it comes to laws, policy, guidance, SOP, standard operating procedures, a whole lot of policies, we are good in drafting things on paper. But when it comes to its implementation and efficiency, that's where we lack things. We have a whole lot of law. For instance, if a Chinese or a foreigner can travel away from his or her country to come and dig pits, do illegal mining in Ghana, pollute our water bodies, our environment, destroy our value system, then it means that there are laws, but they are not working. And it also means that that same person, if there is a gold mine in his or her country and there are no laws, that person will do the same thing. But because there are laws that are working, there are efficiency in the system, that person who has that tendency will never try, but will travel all away to an African country because systems are not working. There are no discipline and there are no efficiency in the system. So I will ensure that there's an efficiency in the system and they are disciplined. Everybody is doing the right thing. When you live there, everybody in this world is equal. Everybody wants liberty. The person in the UK, the person in America, if laws are not working, they will do whatever they want because everybody wants to do away, get his way out and then do things the way he like. But because there are things that are guiding your conduct, how you carry yourselves, they will never try that. So that's what I would do. I will ensure that there's efficiency in the system. The second one I would do is that there should be a deliberate policy or effort to ensure that there's a sustainable growth of the youth of Ghana. Now, when we are counting the resources of Ghana, we talk about the gold, we talk about our forestry, or we talk about our agriculture. We talk about bauxite, all those things. But one of the relevant resources that we have in Ghana and an extension Africa is the youth. So I'll make sure that there's a deliberate policy and plan that will ensure that the growth and the sustainability of the youth is achieved. And how will I do that? I'll make sure that the world is changing. The world is moving in a pace where it's the youth that are carrying it. So in terms of education, we will move from the knowledge acquisition base to where knowledge are put into practice. Yes, I mean the government is trying to do something at the TVET, but I'll ensure that there are policies that can tie their KPIs, key performance indication, that we can measure that these policies that we rolled out to ensure the growth for the youth are actually working. And then two, the youth should be part of decision making. Now, if you look at the constitution of our country, if my memory serves me right, you can become a president when you are 42 years old. So it means that the United Nations categorize people, young people or youth between the ages of 15 to 35 or 18 to 35 as the youth. So it means that no youth in Ghana can become a president. So in the first place, the highest decision-making body, the youth are not part of it. And when it comes to even the law, when they were drafting the law, they were trying to, most of the boards, the institutions, the organizations, the heads, or even the governing body, when they were framing the constitution, they just made it a point, if there are five, so that there should be a woman representation on it, or maybe there should be a disabled person on it, which is inclusion and is also great. But that they never explicitly mentioned that there should be a youth between the ages of 18 to 35 should be part of this particular body. So maybe when you're talking about a governing council of the Ghana Petroleum Authority, I told the governing council of maybe the Minerals Commission, maybe then the board, there should be a clause in there that at least there should be a representation of a youth whose is between that frame 18 to 35. So then there that you are starting to empower the youth to decision making. Because when the youth are empowered, Africa is empowered. So because of the time and the limitation, if I want to go on, I will talk much about the youth. But there should be that deliberate effort to empower the youth to be relevant in the society and contribute to the growth and the socio-economic growth of Ghana and then Africa at large. Africa will never rise. Africa can never develop when the youth are not developed. So they should start considering the youth, that it should be a deliberate effort. And then the last one, which is highly important, is that as a country, we should have a roadmap. We should have a sustainable map to ensure the growth and development of our country. Everything I mentioned is centered around growth and development. We are living in a country where we have a 40-year development plan, which is like a mere exercise. Government paid people to revise that plan and it's sitting on the shelves. So there should be a long-term plan. For instance, like 20 years, or let's say 24 years is a four-term, democracy that we're running. But within that term, the next 24 years, we have a plan. So when you're talking about education, the plan tells you any government that comes to power, this is where we are heading towards. So that yes, you develop the strategies, but the long-term goal is where this is where we wanted to do in terms of education, in terms of health, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of I mean building capacities. So that even if you come and then you want to do anything anyhow, the roadmap will keep you in line for you to do something that is sustainable and good for the country. Because when any government comes to power, Yes, you have to have your manifesto, but if there's that roadmap, your manifesto will be couched in that long-term plan, that is maybe 24 years or 30 years plan, so we can have a goal and a vision, that agenda, let's say 2034, 2054, 2065. That is what we wanted to achieve in terms of education, achieve in terms of health, achieve in terms of infrastructure development or capacity building. If not, successive governments will come and go, and then they'll come and try something. When the next government comes, they will not continue, because they've also promised their people that they wanted to do something. They will abandon the previous what they started, and then continue with what they did, and the country will go in circles, and then you will not develop. Because I tell you, Claudia, there is a great potential in Africa. Africa, like the former president of Liberia said, Salif Johnson, Her Excellency, Africa is not poor, but it is poorly managed. And it saddens me that the potentials that we have in Africa, and the people are struggling. Africans have to travel to live like a second human beings to the people outside the continent of Africa. We are our own slaves. I always tell people that we have become colonized. We were colonized, but by our colonial master. Ghana was the British. But another second colonization or imperialism is our leaders, because they have handicapped the growth of the people. They keep impoverishing the people for them to gain their own worth. We need a leader. We don't need a president. We don't need a political party leader. We don't need a head of political party or a president. The president is just a title, but we need a leader who we need that unconventional leader to turn things around. Singapore wasn't like this, but because there was a deliberate effort by Lung Kan Yu. I mean, even you go to some of the African countries, Botswana, Rwanda, because that they have now, their leaders have made it deliberate to make system work. Things work for the citizen. And if things are working for the citizens also work for the country. Because the leader is very important. No matter how skillful you are, no matter how brilliant or knowledgeable in driving, if you are not the one steering the vehicle or holding the wheel, no matter how you turn your hands at the back of the seat, it cannot change the direction of the car. So the one who is handling the car is very important. He carries those followers in it. So the leaders in Africa should act and think about the people first. As my profession as an auditor, I see a lot. And because of one or two things, I don't want to go into details of what I see. But all what I will say is that the day that the youth of Africa will be empowered, Africa will be empowered. And the day that we will get a leader, not a president or not a head of a political party, Africa will change. And I believe that Africa will one day rise again. And when we all start gradually, there'll be that great news that great continent, Africa, has taken the world by storm. So thank you very much for this question, Claudia.
Final question will be any advice for anyone? Advice for young people, advice for old people, advice for children, any advice for anyone out there? If you were to encourage someone today, what would be your words of encouragement be?
Yes, what especially this. The greatest thing is not done by human beings. Everything great is done by human beings. And you are like us, whether black, white, or whatever. Greatness does not discriminate. It doesn't know black, doesn't know white, it doesn't know Negro, doesn't know anybody. What it knows is that you are human. So whatever that is possible, whatever that I think that is unachievable is achievable.
Yeah.
Even the world richest person, Elon Musk, was once in South Africa before he transitioned to America.
Wow.
So everything is possible being black. But until our mind, we can change our destiny in Africa. Dubai was not like Dubai.
Yeah.
Because they had a mindset, they've changed everything around us. So the advice to the youth is that we should change the things ourselves. If our leaders are not changing it, we will change it ourselves. That's my advice to them.
Thank you so very, very much. This was an insightful conversation. Thank you, Joseph. When we have a panel conversation, yes, do you want to say anything to give a shout out to anyone, the people who've tuned into this podcast?
I would like to say that thank you once again for the opportunity. You see me, and then giving me this platform. It's a great one, and I'm glad that you gave me this opportunity. I thank you very much. And I said that everybody should follow No Life is Ordinary. Everybody should go and follow it. If you have any issue in terms of your aspirations, self-doubt and everything, just reach out to No Life is Ordinary. And indeed, No Life is Ordinary. And then people can also follow me on LinkedIn as Joseph Kwame Nyarkoh. In terms of any engagement, you can reach out to me. It's about sustainability, youth empowerment. I'm in for that. Thank you very much, Claudia.
Thank you very much. So that's it, folks. So we're looking forward to sharing that with you. So yes, thank you for tuning in to episode 5 of No Ordinary Life podcast, and we were looking forward to seeing you again. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content. Thank you.